Uh, so I was saying, like,
You should do an introduction.
yeah, hey guys, this is part 2 now. We're just continuing. You can like, subscribe, and share. And we are focusing on why the world is it today, and why like everything is happening like in a rust. It's like a rat race for everyone. So continuing from the part 1, I was saying, that the pandemic, apart from giving people having mental illnesses and depression and suicide because of financial issues, one of the biggest contributors was the fact that everyone was in isolation. So the fact everyone was in isolation, humans are like, are hard creatures. We flourish when you are together. If you put one person in an island and 3 people on an island, the 3 people flourish more the one person. So the fact that everyone was in isolation, something as essential as touch, the fact that a lot of people are lacking touch, touch, like touching of the same gender or the opposite gender. A lot of people found themselves like in a cluster. They were claustrophobic, in a claustrophobic environment, because you're in the house the whole day, you're working from home, so it's easy to fall into depression and to fall into your uh, own thoughts. Actually, that was one of the biggest contributors why people were having mental issues. And I'll just say, there was this uh, story of a Roman emperor, when the Roman Empire was dominating. So he was very curious. So he wanted to know what would happen if you put children, children or people, they grow up without ever interacting with any human, with anyone, and how will they know how to speak and all those. So he put a group of children who are interacting with people, and another group where each person was on their own place, and all they were being done is just be brought food and the person leaves. And the kids that were in solitary confinement never made it even to 18 years. They all died, because it's not that they lack food. Food was there, everything was there, but the fact that there was no touch of any interaction. But the other group flourished. So this shows that the world where we are heading right now, it's, everyone is like in a rat race system where everyone is so focused on making their own money and not caring about the other person, which now also brings other issues where we find that the society is not, the society is fighting back, or let's say nature is fighting back, because how humans, we are genetically made, we are genetically made to coexist. If you see now, there are many divorces than ever. People don't even value marriages anymore. People don't even value children anymore. It has become like a selfish centered societies, and that's one of the biggest worries. That's why even in the first video I was asking you, and we are trying to interrogate basically what will happen if now people discover things like anti-aging. How will the society be? Because now somebody can live forever, so and if you can live forever, and you have this kind of mindset, what's the point of living forever if you live in isolation, and always thinking that you don't need anyone, and we are going to that road where we're starting. It's like we're becoming God mode level 1. Like there are stages. Probably there are 10 stages of becoming a god. Now we're in that level 1 where we now think that you know especially now because people are making money. Some people think that me, I'm above the law. Some like a demigod. So now what happens when we find anti-aging? This advancement will just continue to to increase the human ego, to always thinking that I'm always ahead of the curve, and
I'm on island, yeah.
and I know what I'm doing, and nothing can happen to me, and no repercussion. I don't have anything wrong with science discovery, but with the pace and the direction that we are going, I'm not really convinced that we are a society that is advancing to prosperity. Because even if you look at the inequality between the haves and the have-nots, like 1% or 5% of people control 90% of the world's wealth. And that's why I was thinking probably also the structure, we might be heading to a structural societal collapse, of some kind, because with the age of the internet, like it's everyone, we've all realized, when COVID came, it's like everyone in the world realized like we are on the same boat somehow, like, if like now the war between Ukraine and Russia, prices of food have increased in Europe, in India, even here where I am. So it's like we're in the same boat. It's like we are linked together. And that begs the question, probably, is capitalism also the best system of governance? Because it's bringing a lot of inequality, and and the inequality will just keep on, keep on growing, because you see, like a pandemic like COVID, it's when most people, the top richest, the top 1% made the most money. Most businesses were being shut down for the local people, like, the ordinary person, me and you, they were being
small
affected.
businesses.
Yeah, but to find that these guys, they made so much money. That's why I'm insisting, like, everyone is in a rat race in some kind, because those guys up there, they're also in some kind of rat race of global dominance. There's also politics amongst them, the fact they're 1%, there's also backstabbing, mind games, even down here. But now us, because you're down here, we are the one who feel the pressure, but we don't realize that all of us are in some kind of the same boat.
Yeah, and if you look at it, social media is really fueling this mindset of me, myself, and I can do it by myself. I don't need anyone. Keep the circle small. People are haters. People are hating on me when they, expect haters when you make it. We're already preparing
even when people say
ourselves
truth,
for,
even when I tell you the truth, you're doing wrong. It's you now become a hater.
You're doing wrong. It's that word, that noun. It was coined by rappers. When people see success, we've even removed what success really means. In the past, success meant you made money legally, you made money in a moral way. But now, if you look at a country like US, porn stars are being praised. People who are doing the wrong thing, making money the wrong way, are being praised. Even in Kenya, we have people who, yes, they're making money, and yes, they have an element of success when it comes to monetary success, but morality is down. There's no moral standard, and that's the kind of society people will start now accepting very quickly, because it's money. If you made your money being a lawyer and you're legitimate, and if I made my money, doing something immoral, that money still buys the same car, it still buys the same house, it still buys the same products. The fact that money is a common denominator for any activity. Yeah, it even gains respect. If I can afford what you can afford, and you have done something very different. Because you're even looking at, when you talk about money, we're looking at in US, there are people who are cuddlers, there are people who take pictures of their feet, professional cuddlers, and they make as much money as someone who is a doctor or an engineer. So the fact that and that's because of internet. People, a professional cuddler is being created by a society where people are so lonely and no one wants to talk to each other. Everyone, even nowadays, when you talk to someone, it has to be some kind of benefit.
And even the formula is like, the more I ignore you, the more I care about you. It's I'm ignoring you. It's like that kind of mindset. People want to
intentional.
People want to, people want to be, or can I say, recognized, but they don't want to be approached. I want you
exactly
to tell me, but don't approach my space. I want you to,
if I don't approach my space.
If I post something or show
I want you
something,
to appreciate me verbally.
But
don't approach me.
But if I text you, hey, how are you doing? You will ignore me. But you want my
ignore me, but you want me to like and comment, but you don't want me to text you directly. And I think the fact that people feel like, you look at people who are lucky. Now I start talking about luck. If you're born into a rich family, if you're born into a family of means, if you're born beautiful or good looking or anything,
even if you're born in a superpower country, even if you're born in like
Yeah, if you're
I
born in
can't.
America in Africa,
Yeah, you can't compare.
that's luck.
That's
Yeah.
luck. Yeah.
So people are taking that aspect of luck and making it like a qualification. Now because I'm born in a white family and it's rich and it's Jewish, now I'm qualified to come and tell you guys that I know more than you. And you find that someone working hard in Africa, has all the qualification, will never get the chance that Jewish person in America has. If you look at someone like Scott Disick, him is a probably fifth generation, seventh generation, wealth sharing family from a family where the wealth has been shared 7 generations. If you look at that kind of structure, those are the kind of people who start making, they start spending extravagant, lavish lifestyle, always in parties, money never ending, driving the best cars, being in the best environments. Was even looking at someone like Ariana Grande. She sings and she's a pop star because the parents were rich. Because the parents, she didn't have to go to work like normal Americans. She just went, did a music school, and like that she became a singer. And if you look at other people in America, they have the same time, the same environment, but they weren't lucky enough to be born Ariana Grande. So we are making it seem like success is obvious. People come out on TikTok, they say making $10,000 is easy, but it's not that easy. You have to have a certain amount of knowledge to get to make $10,000 every month. And people are trying to make it seem like wealth is, if you're not making $10,000, you're lazy. If you're not successful, you're lazy. If you're not making money, you're lazy. And you find that it's because you're born in a certain environment that taught you how to do something. That's how you're able to make your wealth.
And also people are not telling other people the truth because no one wants to come out and say, yo, me, don't follow me. Like
don't
a guy like
me. I was given money by my dad or by my
like
mom.
A guy like Gavi, how we always talked about wealth, but to come to realize him, he was born in a very wealthy family,
very wealthy family.
Yeah. So
and he keeps on saying the way he hustled, but his dad was a millionaire. In fact, he was lazy because he made it at 35, and it's because he was probably partying and having fun. And those are the things that rich people won't tell you. Because me can tell you right now, people I've seen in Kenya who came from money, I don't think right now they're struggling. And if they're struggling, it's because they're taking drugs. That's what I've seen. People who come from money, especially in Kenya, their life is very simple and very basic and very easy.
And it's not even in Kenya. I feel it's like the COVID thing showed us that we are all the same somehow. The system is
I'm talking about Kenya because I've seen
I understand for sure. But I feel like
it's the
what's
same
happening here, it's what's
but
happening in Uganda, in Japan, it's even seeing that documentary of Vice of how Samsung and these big companies in South Korea, they control,
they live the way they want.
Even someone can make a phone call for the plane to come back because the plane was taking off because these big families, the Samsung families, the Hyundais,
and we saw and talking about a plane, for a plane to take off and land, it's $500. So just by the plane taking off and recalling it back, they spent $1,000.
And also they've wasted time for the guys who are in the plane because some guys maybe if those are customers.
Yeah, they paid them, but they're paid. The fact that
I'm saying the passengers, the passengers. Because now if you're a passenger, you're taking a plane, you're taking off, and then the plane is coming back just to pick the president of the airline.
The rich man.
Because they've made a call. You see, that's a very selfish.
And I think that's where now eternal life. Now we are talking about eternal. When they discover, they'll start discovering anti-aging, reaching 150 years old. Okay. Now, why can't you go beyond 150? Why can't you go beyond 250? Why can't you reach 1,000? Why can't you live 10,000 years like a vampire in the movie? That's where now you'll see that someone's death will become, people will even start doing.
People even forget death. Probably death will become like these diseases that we used to hear, like smallpox, polio. It would be like, hey, you still you're dying. How comes you're dying? It'd be like a new
how come
thing.
Are you dying? It's a shock. Someone has died. It's a shock.
It's like,
and that's why now you see this control now, because this control, like you're saying, the president of a country is now recalling back a plane because the president of Samsung, not even a country, the president of a very $1 trillion company is recalling back a plane just because they have money. it's not even about being the president of Samsung. It's about they have money. And that kind of power is what people will cling on. That's the power that people, when you take drugs, that's the power drugs gives you, gives you that power of I'm immortal. My brain is activating, I can think beyond what I see, I can imagine, blah, blah, blah. And you find that now it creates an environment where people who are creative naturally and people who are not, they kind of play in the same game. If you look at the past people, if you look at Steve Jobs, he was able to influence creative people to make Apple and all those devices. And now you look, it's blurring the lines of creativity and
if you
ability to
and since even you're saying that
ability to produce it.
Even since you're saying that story of Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs always given credit, but the guys who really did the work were the professors, the engineers, the scientists that put the work. Steve Jobs was just a face, but the guys who are the electronic engineers, the marketers,
people who know how storage works, people who know how to make
Steve
software,
Jobs didn't
people who know how to make electronics.
Also, Steve Jobs didn't know if I take this manufacturing to China is cheap. There was a strategy. There was someone who was
someone who advised him.
Yeah, who studied China economically and so what's happening, and then I told him, but he's the guy who takes the credit.
Yeah, and that's now why most people, you find that in Africa, in Kenya, we don't know much about many careers. As we just know the basic foundation of careers, lawyer, doctor, architect, engineer. We don't know things like financial strategists. We don't know things like people who make deals, people who broker deals. Okay, they are there, yes, there are people who broker deals, but you find that because of media is teaching us that time is too short to learn anything. You can't learn something in 5 years. You have to learn it in 2 months. And you're good, and that is taking away our ability to really specialize and be good at things. And if our whole society or whole generation cannot do something well, because even you can't tell me content creation is that difficult, because someone sat down and learned how to make a camera so well that it's not hard for you to record videos. Those are the kind of careers we'll start getting into, and we'll ignore electronics. We'll see as electronics is difficult, making chips is difficult, and that's what the Europeans, they really value. And if you look at Kenya, that's where we are going down, because people can do these things, but we were being told that success is it happens in 2 years. If you're not successful in 2 years, 2 months, 2 days,
2 days.
They're not telling you it took someone, like the person who computers were invented in an environment where there were many scientists. The scientist who invented an internet connection, he was working in a hadron collider, in a place where they collide atoms. So these people had so much knowledge of physics and light. This guy was able to just create a system where you can just share information, just amongst his peers. And that's what we don't see. That's what we don't know. We don't know that people spend years and years and years learning how to
even millennium. Because if you look at if you look at a continent like Europe, and when you're in Africa or in Kenya, you want to compare yourself with a continent like Europe or a country like China. They didn't just, they're not there. These regions have 5,000, 4,000 experience. They've done over and over. Like a country like Kenya, you see how apart from the main highways, the Maram roads, how they make. You go back to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire roads were even better than the Maram roads that are being made now in 2022.
Now in Africa.
In Africa,
the whole of Africa.
And the Roman Empire existed 2,500 years ago, and it was because even if you look at Europe roads these days, most of Europe roads, Italy, are made based on the roads that the Roman Empire made. And they were so sufficient, so effective. Going back to the Ecuador, how I was saying, like, they had a system where they could capture water from a river and then transport it all the way to the city of Rome. Venice was built on water. You go back to Britain, the same. Napoleon.
And you see, and the
But
problem with
now
us, we want
we are
it
just
fast.
seeing the finished product, and now we want that finished product. Yeah.
And we want it now fast. We want
Yeah.
to start building iPhones.
Yeah.
You know, even if you look at Silicon Valley, it wasn't built on internet, or it started with you know, people came together, and it's just some people moved to California, you know, those areas, and started making radios. And they discovered that you can actually send a signal from one place to another using radio frequencies. You know, that was the time of Thomas, you know, Tesla and those people discovered you can, you know, create signals, and it started with radios. It went on to, you know, televisions, and it went like that, until it became internet and internet companies. And as you see, for us, the fact that we don't value the hard work people put in other countries. And you know, funny enough, it's a funny thing, these guys don't come to tell us that they worked hard. They just come and tell us, hey, you know, things are easy for us just because we are this race or something. As you don't realize that it took them, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years to reach where they are right now. And then, as you know, we want the final product. If you look at the express highway, it's something that if it was done well, there could have been an express highway all across Kenya. But now, because we want it now and fast, we build a short express highway and make it like it's the biggest thing we've ever done. And other countries have that for free.
Because they also put a good point, like if we started building express highway, let's say in 205, we could have so many express highway. Where do you want it to complete it so fast in 1 year and just build one? You know, we could have started slowly, you know.
We could have you know, we built like we start with
our plan,
CBD,
we could have started with a 10 express highway plan, you know. We start with one and then we finish, we you know,
we keep going.
we go with one. And is there technology transfer? Because why are we being why is our roads being kept built, you know? So sorry, I mean, like, why are we keep on contracting other people to build the roads? Why? And we already like 15 years in deep in, you know, in this kind of contracts of building roads.
It's that thing.
Aren't our people
it's that
capable
thing
of
I'm
building
telling
roads?
you. We are people. We are capable. We are people who are capable of building roads. Now the problem is,
because I don't expect another project. I don't expect another project right now. Let's say to hire an outside. Yeah, because now they've built them. They built for us for 15 years.
If you look at it, you find that maybe the government thinks, you know, it goes to China, it sends people to China. This guy comes and says, hey, you know, China can build a 10-story building and a whole hospital in 3 days. Can we hire them to do that for us? You know, instead of saying, us, we can't build a hospital in 3 days like China. Can we start teaching our people to start building things quickly? Can we start investing in, you know, our people? We start giving them equipment and we give them resources to be able to build for ourselves roads, hospitals. Because if you look at the thing I was telling you, if you look at America, when someone discovers a piece of technology, let's say someone discovered WhatsApp in America. If you look at America, that WhatsApp guy will be given money, you know, because he's done something revolutionary. But if you look at Kenya, someone will be, you know, bought out, or they'll be forced to sell, or they'll be forced to give up the company so that another company can absorb it and become there. So here we don't want to see ourselves, our own people, becoming, you know, very successful. You know,
there's an aspect of jealousy.
We want the same people. Yeah, we want the same Safaricom to run everything. You know, we want Safaricom to do data science. We want them to do, you know, data centers. We want them to do internet. You know, and we're not giving that reach to someone else who can do it better.
And you know,
because if you look at Safaricom, maybe someone could have come with a better system of distributing internet, but probably they were never given that opportunity. And then if you look at the people who distribute the fiber cables in Kenya, it's an American or European company. It's not a Kenyan. Because us, we don't want, it's like there's that thing of we can't do, we'll never be able to do.
It's like a mental block.
There's always that. It's a mental block, yeah. But if you think about it, things are changing slowly by slowly, because some you know, foreign companies are investing in Kenyan startups, but still the Kenyan, you know, the Kenyan company Safaricom is not, it's going to be taken over because people are going to, you know, people already know the same technology. Safaricom, there's nothing they're doing that's so unique that someone who has the know-how can do. Because M-Pesa is just an intelligent system of sending money from person to person using one bank account. It's not it's not like it's very difficult. The only thing they have is a hold. You can't get those licenses. They'll make you.
And that's
they'll struggle.
Yeah, and I was seeing a report of how African countries are investing in their future. If you see, we like taking a leaf from the Asian tigers, let's say, Singapore, Thailand, South Korea. Even when we are getting independence, they always say that South Korea was so poor because it had suffered the war between North Korea and South Korea. So it was so poor. So we gave them actually a loan of $1 million. But now you look at South Korea GDP, I think it's almost 2 trillion, if not $1.5 trillion. And we are the same population.
And the population.
South Korea is 50 million like Kenya, but their GDP is $2 trillion. And as we are 50 million and our GDP is
if you think about it,
is 100 billion.
If you think about it, high school for us is such a hellhole. High school. When you finish high school, you've been through hell. High school food was bad. Everything about high school it's like you're meant to struggle in high school. Now, when people finish high school, they enter into a form of laziness where they don't tackle difficult things like chemistry, physics, mathematics. They don't tackle easy things like the basic art, basic things like people don't really go much into STEM careers. People don't spend time researching and doing all those
feel
things.
Because they're not like encouraged. The STEM careers in high school are seen like a punishment. They are not
it's like if you didn't get an A in chemistry, you'll never be good in chemistry.
Yeah.
And you find that the way the education system is done for people who are in high school, even right now, there's a period in Kenya, people were just banning schools. People are threatening teachers. It reached a point where now they had to have a parade where they say, we want to go home because the high school is so stressful because of the lifestyle in high school. If you look at, as you've had the opportunity to go to an American school in Kenya, and you've seen how relaxed the environment is, how these guys are treated well. Americans really value their children, their people who are coming up. But we see it as a burden. And if you look at the parents themselves who take kids to these schools, even if it's difficult paying fees, you can't just have a kid and not be prepared to pay school fees.
And
that's like to get tired.
Even when I was saying
and then it creates a society of people who don't want to do difficult things. They just want to relax.
And I was saying that when I was saying that thing of South Korea, I wanted to correlate with because I was there's a time I read an article that apparently for the Asian tigers, if you look why the Asian tigers are so successful, like South Korea, Thailand, and also those countries, because immediately they were on their feet. On their feet, I don't mean that they were that successful. They were just now, trying to, where's the knife? Where's the plate? They are just there. Let's say in the kitchen, where's the, like, trying to, the first thing they invested were healthcare and the education system. So those were the first two things they really poured money on healthcare. But you come to Africa, the African countries, you realize there's a different kind of mentality, because the things that are ailing people in Africa are food security, healthcare, and education system. And that's what the Asian countries did, the Singapores, the Thailand. But in African countries, you find that the arm that's been given the most money is the military. And you ask yourself, why are the military being given so much money, yet we are not at war. We are not at war as African countries amongst neighbors. So I'm not saying people shouldn't prioritize security, but at the end of the day, what do we need to put money on? And that's why you find there's an issue, disconnect in high school. That's why you find someone going to high school is bored, because high school, there's no funding of anything. It's just like a place you're just sent to.
It's just you stay in a class. You stay in the class
for 4 years, and when you finish, you have no skill, and you don't know how. Not even just
you start thinking about leaving the country.
Not even true. Not even a skill, but also even something as simple as to socialize. You don't know how
Mm,
because to you it was just like a phase, and you can see, for example, a country like Uganda, you can see their GDP. Kenya GDP is 100 billion. Uganda GDP is 30 billion. But Uganda spends as much in military hardware as Kenya, and sometimes even more.
as Kenya.
Yeah. But when you go to things like
and
education
if you look at
and healthcare, they don't.
it's not invested.
Yeah.
And if you look at now you see in Kenya, we're starting to see the fruits of not investing in education. Start hearing of things like Shembeteng, things like this Sheng that has come out of nowhere. We don't understand it as normal people. It's because those guys have been so neglected that they have to come up with ways of survival and ways of adapting to the environment, and it creates it will create a black hole whereby we are trying to move forward in Kenya, but you can't hire Kenyan anymore. Because most Kenyans have spent the last 10 years doing really nothing that has improved their skills. And now that will make us continue and endlessly continue to bring in foreigners to build our roads, to build our hospitals. Very soon we'll start hearing foreigners are becoming to be our doctors. And we'll just be a country.
No, we are there already, because you can see like during the outgoing President Uhuru's administration, we are relying so much on Cuban doctors. We had to bring them here. Even one was kidnapped by Al-Shabaab at Anodistan, because and we also are suffering for that brain drain. If you remember the article that was saying like Zimbabwe's health system is about to collapse because everyone has all the health professions have moved to Britain. Now they live in Britain, so you see also there's that kind of brain drain, and we have so much opportunity we can we can work on and try and do.
We're underutilizing our people. We're making them more useless by ignoring, because like you said, only 5% of people in Kenya control all the wealth in Kenya, so they're making very bad decisions. They don't even care. And you never know if it's gonna get worse or get better.
And even them,
people are not skilled.
Even the 5%, they in a rat race amongst themselves and also amongst global institutions. Apart from outdoing each other, they want to outdo the neighboring president, probably the neighboring company. There's that and you can always see it. There's that rat race, because for example, if you see the United Nations proceedings, in every time there's a United Nations conference in New York, when a small country like Israel, when the prime minister goes to talk, the house is full. And Israel is a very small country. When the president of America talks, the house is full. But when an African leader talks, there's barely no one. There's like
because we know you guys are doing nothing. You African leaders, you're doing nothing.
And
we don't even need to talk to you because you won't help.
What vision will you give us? Because we give you everything. Even when you're here, we probably have come to borrow us money.
To borrow money,
So
and then when you give that money, we hear scandals of robbing, and because this big countries, these first world countries, they know all our activities. They know all the corruption that happens. They know these politicians always steal money. They know, so they never take us seriously until they make a. But
African leaders are always rushing there. To them, they feel it's a privilege. That's what I'm saying. Even though they have money, even amongst them, people who have money, there's some kind of mentality of rat race. So I want to join this club. That's what I'm saying. You can never be satisfied as a human. Because if I'm the president of Kenya, I still want to join the club of of France and chill with those guys. Even though I want to be noticed. Even amongst them, even the leaders of France and America, they also want to be recognized by other companies, other banks, it's like a never-ending cycle of not being satisfied. Anyway,
so
I think
that was a good discussion.
Today guys, we decided to take a bit different route. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll be doing also this now and then. You can like, share, subscribe, like, follow. Anything you wanna say, Joe? Finish?
I just want to say, guys, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your participation in viewing our videos. Please like and subscribe. It will really help us. We look for better content to show, and we'll do more. We'll pick into what more we can do better. But it's up to you guys. We are doing this for you guys, and we really appreciate you being here.
Also, challenge us. Tell us to do so that we can see where we can work on and improve.
Yeah, give us challenges. Yeah, if you want to hear us talking about something that you want to hear, just comment down below. We'll make sure we talk about it.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Okay. Cheers.